Okay, I wanted to share information because next week we are doing PEAKS testing, which is our state testing. And PEAKS testing impacts two different groups of kids. So ninth graders, you have two tests to take for state testing, English and math. And then 10th graders, there's a science test for you to take. So here's what we're doing. We are running a schedule next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, that looks just like the schedule we had for finals at the end of Q3. So over those 2 days, each class period will only meet once, and it'll be for a longer amount of time. Now, here's one thing that's important. Whether you're in person or remote, you're following the same schedule. So it's the same schedule whether you're in person and remote. So even if you're remote, you probably won't be testing during that time if you're in 9th or 10th grade, but you're still going to follow the same schedule. And why this is important is because let's think through a scenario. Maybe I'm a 9th grader. I have English first period and I'm attending in person. So I'm in person, I'm with my teacher during that first period English class on Tuesday. I'm going to take my PEAKS English Language Arts test in person because I'm in person during that time. If I'm in that same class, that same 9th grade English class first period, and I'm remote, my teacher is probably going to reach out to me to let me know that everybody else in person is testing that day. So I might not have I don't have a live class to attend during that time. Maybe there's going to be some work for you to work on outside of that, but PEAKS, this is the important thing. PEAKS tests can only be taken in person. There is no remote option for PEAKS testing like we had for MAP testing. So our in-person students will be testing during these times. And then for remote students, Mr. Gibson sent out an email for you guys to register for times to come into the building to test remotely. Okay, so during the first period time on these 2 days, 9th grade English Language Arts will be during that period 1 class. 10th, 11th, 12th graders, you just go to your regular period 1 class. During the second period time on that same day, and again, we divided up the zones, SSP and lunch. Remember now that zone information can be found right after the room number for your SSP in second period. It says Z1, 2, or 3. So then during that second period time from 10:35 to 2:45, 10th graders will take their science test during that time. 9th, 11th, and 12th graders, in person and remote, attend class as usual. And that'll be the first day. Then on the next day, during third period, we'll have 9th grade PEAKS math testing during that time. 10th through 12th go to their regular classes, lunch and SSP, and then we're going to have another early dismissal during that day. So once classes are done at 11:15, just like we did during finals, there's an option for an early dismissal because teachers are going to set aside that time to do parent contact and parent outreach. So, checking in with parents during fourth quarter, because of the way the schedule is for conferences, we don't have dedicated parent-teacher conference time. So this will be the time that parents can make phone calls or send emails or check in with parents for students that they want to reach out to. Okay. If you are an in-person student, tell your parents to check their email. If you drive, if you walk, if you're going to get picked up, parents, in-person students, I emailed that form to you to fill out the early dismissal permission form. And it's going to go out again today, actually, or tomorrow. I scheduled it to go out again tomorrow as a reminder. Okay. Now, one big question a couple big reminders for our in-person students who are going to be testing here in person on the 6th and 7th. One question you might have is, Miss Gillum, how do I know where to go for testing? That's a great question. On Friday, all of your teachers are going to get emailed a spreadsheet that will tell them where you go for testing. So maybe I'm a 9th grader and first period, I don't have an all 9th grade class. Maybe I have an elective class that has a mix of all grade levels of kids. I'm probably going to go to a teacher who has mostly 9th graders, maybe an English, biology, Alaska Studies teacher who has 9th graders, during that time frame. And your teachers will know where you go. So if you don't know, you could check with them on Friday. They can tell you where to go, or first thing Monday, we'll have a spreadsheet and list of things to tell you where to go to. Same thing for 10th graders during second period, and same thing for 9th graders during third period the next day. So we'll have a big spreadsheet to tell you where to go. Another reminder that I didn't write one thing for is if you have a device, you all have a device because you're bringing devices, but especially if you have a school issued device, a school issued Chromebook, bring that device to school fully charged on these 2 days, 9th and 10th graders. You're doing that anyway. You're already in the habit. This is just our good reminder to make sure that you bring that device to school charged, because the testing is online on a device. So we just want to make sure you have that device here. Okay, let me check my Post-it notes that I wrote. Yes. Okay, that was all of the things that I wanted to make sure you guys knew about. I just wanted to remind you. I know I've put it in my newsletters. It's been in our bulletins. Teachers have been talking about it, but I wanted to make a video for teachers to show during SSP. So teachers, if you're showing this to kids during SSP, thank you so much. And then put it out on social media too. So next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, that's when we're doing our PEAKS testing. We're going to run an altered schedule during that time. That's going to look just like the final schedule that we ran at the beginning of March for the end of third quarter. In-person students will be testing here in the building during that time. If you're a remote 9th or 10th grader, make sure you check with your teacher if there's anything you need to do during that time period if you're missing something. And then remote parents, check your email. Mr. Gibson emailed you a form to fill out to schedule a time for your student to come in to test. And in-person parents, check your email because I sent out a form. If you do want your student to be able to be dismissed early on Wednesday while teachers do parent-teacher conferences, you need to fill out that form. Otherwise, again, we'll have a movie here in the PAC for kids to watch, or study spaces if they just need to study. Okay, I think that's it. I haven't done one of these in a while, so I kind of missed you guys, but happy Thursday. I know it was short notice, so it's not like anybody's watching in my Zoom, but on Facebook Live, happy Thursday, everybody. And of course, as always, email me if you have any questions.